Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday traveled in the same vehicle to the destination of their bilateral meeting after the proceedings at the SCO summit venue in the Tianjin, China, that a visual statement amid the United States President Donald Trump's tariff onslaught against the New Delhi oil trade with Moscow. Also, after the proceedings at the SCO summit venue, the President Putin and I, that is the Modi, traveled together to the venue of our bilateral meeting, is what Modi said on the X platform. Also, conversations with him are always insightful, is also what Prime Minister Modi said in a post sharing on the X platform, along with his picture with the Russian leader. Sources from the Millennium says that the President Putin wanted to travel together with the Prime Minister Modi from the SCO conference venue to the bilateral meeting held at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. He apparently waited for about 10 minutes from Prime Minister Modi so that he could join him. The leaders then traveled together in his car, conversing on various issues. They spent another 45 minutes in the car even after reaching the bilateral meeting venue. After this, both leaders had full bilateral meeting which went on for an hour, they said. Significance of the Putin's gesture. Let's see how these things are significant. President Putin's gesture holds significance as it comes amid the United States' public condemnation of India's oil trade with Russia, with the President Donald Trump accusing the New Delhi of funding Putin's war in Ukraine. Last month, Donald Trump imposed 50% tariffs on the Indian goods bound for the United States, the highest in Asia, to penalize it for those energy purchases. Despite the United States' pressure, India has not stopped its oil trade with Moscow and said that its national interest will be guided by its energy import policies. New Delhi also labeled the United States' levies as unfair, unjustified, and unreasonable. India and Russia have been among the steadiest of the major relationships in the world after the Second World War. New Delhi became one of the biggest Russian oil buyers since the Ukraine war broke out in the 2022 and the Western nations shunned the energy imports from Moscow and imposed the price cap on the Russian crude trade. However, there is no blanket prohibition on the purchase of the Russian oil if the deals meet the parameters of the Western sanctions. Also, the two nations are making efforts to simplify the rupee-ruble trade mechanism, aiming to reduce reliance on the United States dollar amid the growing global financial complexities. Russia's acknowledgement. Earlier, the Prime Minister Modi met the President Putin at the Tianjin summit, where the Russian leader addressed India's role in the Ukraine peace efforts. Putin said he appreciates China and India's efforts to resolve the crisis in Ukraine, highlighting the growing role of the Asian power in the conflict resolution, traditionally dominated by the Western nations. This is Prime Minister Modi and the President Putin's first in-person meeting since October 2024, when they met on the margins of the BRICS summit in the Kazan. Prime Minister Modi last spoke on the call with Putin after the Russian leaders' summit with Donald Trump in Alaska to seek a peace deal. Strengthening ties. Earlier in the day, the striking photos of the Prime Minister Modi's informal interaction with the Chinese President Xi Jinping and the Russian President Putin surfaced, capturing a light moment shared between the three leaders on the sidelines of the SCO summit. The images showed all the three leaders smiling and conversing, reminiscent of a similar photo taken during the BRICS summit in the Kazan, Russia. In the latest photo, Putin is seen on the left, the Prime Minister Modi at the center, and Xi Jinping on the right, also walking together in a relaxed manner to pose for a SCO family photo. Sharing the picture on X, Prime Minister Modi wrote, "Interaction in Tianjin continue. the exchanging perspective with the President Putin and President Xi during the SCO summit. The Prime Minister also posted another image with the Russian President Putin that also where the two leaders were shaking hands and hugging. Prime Minister Modi shared the photo on the social media and captioned it, "Always a delight to meet President Putin." Additionally, the Prime Minister and the Russian President were seen walking past the Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on Monday, who appeared isolated as both leaders agreed and engaged in an informal conversation.